Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to Arcane Alchemy. I'm the mystical medium, and on this channel, I co-create with Source Consciousness to bring you all of the real, practical tools for divine soul alchemy that are going to help you transmute your greatest struggles into your greatest success stories. All of those heavy lead-like situations that you've gone through into your most golden opportunities for your success, expansion, and growth as a soul. So welcome to this space. Thank you for sharing your time and energy with me. If you are here, it is not by chance. Spirit has a message for you today about activation energy. So if you are seeing this, there is a habit, there's a behavior, there's a thought pattern, there's something that you have been noticing, you have the awareness of now, and Spirit is asking you to put the activation energy necessary to begin to catalyze that. So in chemistry, the activation energy is the energy required to start a chemical reaction, right? So when you're trying to change a thought, belief, behavior, habit, whatever it is in your life, it's going to take more initially than once you actually have that habit in motion and you've been going with it for a little bit, right? So there's this thing called the 2-minute rule. And I think it goes hand in hand perfectly with activation energy. So the 2-minute rule is you only have to do something for 2 minutes. When you're first starting out, tell your brain that, because your brain is an energy hog. And it wants to not only keep you playing small and safe just because it's comfortable, but also because it uses less energy. Those neural pathways that run that thought, that belief, that habit are already well grooved, right? They're already habitual. So your brain loves habits. So when you're building a new habit, you're going to be met with resistance, because oftentimes when we're building a new habit, we're releasing something else, right? We're replacing it. So we're creating new neural networks, something called neuroplasticity. Our brains are incredibly powerful. And when we learn to work with them and speak kindly to them, instead of saying that our brain is working against us or our thoughts, there's no excuses that you can make. Your brain literally is adaptable. You can go in, you're not hardwired. You can go in and you can change the coding at any time. And it's beautiful. And sometimes it's really hard. But the 2-minute rule helps your brain, because your brain is like, okay, I can do that for 2 minutes. Let me just get out the yoga mat. Let me lay out my running clothes. So the next morning when, my alarm goes off, there's a little bit less resistance. The activation energy necessary to begin that habit is just a little bit less, right? So what steps can you take to help yourself prepare for that 2 minutes? Because I guarantee once you're there, once you're in it, once you're on that run, once you're in that meditation, once you're on the yoga mat, whatever it is, once you're journaling, the 2 minutes isn't going to be relevant anymore. It's not going to matter. You're probably going to be able to do it quite a lot longer than that. And if not, that's okay too. Start with 2 minutes. You can even set an alarm on your phone for 2 minutes and just be like, all right, I just have to do this for this long. And, if I want to continue after, I'll continue after. And if I don't, I know that I showed up for myself in those 2 minutes. I dedicated that time because I am worthy. I am important. It is important for me to grow. It is important for me to heal. It is important for me to work through X, Y, or Z, right? In order to become the person that I desire to be, the person who you truly are. Because a lot of life is unbecoming and rediscovering our true essence, coming back to the gnosis of ourselves. That's why knowing ourselves is the most important thing that we can do as alchemists. Everything stems around that. Who are you at your core? You are love, universal love. You are peace. You are abundance. So start tapping into those frequencies. Use I am statements. I am abundance. I am peace. I am prosperity. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm in full channel mode now. I'm burping a lot. Activate your inner alchemist. Understand that this part of changing a habit, a behavior, a belief, the beginning is always the hardest. Because once you're in it, you start to see the positive benefits. You start to reap the rewards from taking that time to meditate, from taking that time to journal, from taking that time to go out and go on that run, to go to the gym, whatever it may be, all of the above. Build all these habits on top of each other to be the most successful human and multidimensional that you can be. But if none of them are in your daily practice already, pick one that feels the most exciting to you. Be like, all right, which of these, of meditation, of mindfulness, of movement, which one of those three feels the most exciting to me to start? And then start building just a little practice around it. If you want to start a morning meditation, set your alarm a few minutes earlier. When you first wake up, before your feet hit the floor, speak just one affirmation to set your intention for the day. My favorite one that I do every morning when I wake up now is, I am as magical as I allow myself to be. Universe, show me how magical today can be, how much magic I can be and see in this beautiful world. I align myself, my intention, my energy with the frequency of my multidimensional magic, my frequency as a conscious co-creator. Because I don't want my day to rule me. I don't want life to flow me. I want to flow with life and through life. I want life to flow through me, right? So think about that today. What habit, what behavior, whatever it is, it's on your mind right now. Spirit's already brought it to your attention. You have the awareness around it. If you've stumbled on this video, it's not by chance. You have the awareness. So now what are you going to do to push through that initial activation energy? What is it going to take for you to, that's interesting. Some of y'all need to speak your truth. Speak aloud to yourself. That's what's coming through right now. Spirit wants you to start speaking aloud to yourself. And this is actually very, very powerful and potent, because I notice that when I don't speak to myself aloud, even about just random things, but especially about like magical things, especially about affirmations, especially about intention, energy, all of that, and embodying that. But I find that when I'm going through more quiet phases, I'm not as tapped into my magic. So Source wants you to start speaking aloud to yourself so your brain and your mind can start to come on board. They're hearing it through another sense. You're not just thinking those thoughts, right? You're also speaking it aloud, and then you're putting the inspired action behind it. So build on it today. What are you going to do for 2 minutes? That's all your brain needs to think that you're going to do. It's just 2 minutes. 2 minutes of yoga, 2 minutes of meditation, 2 minutes of going on a walk. What are you going to do, and how are you going to build to help yourself get over that initial resistance? What is going to be that activation energy? Laying out your gym clothes. Setting your alarm ahead of time, like right now. Don't wait until the time comes, because your brain is going to come up with 1,000,001 excuses for why you shouldn't do that, or why you should do this instead, because this is easier and more comfortable. Anytime something is easier or more comfortable, question. Really question. Take a moment and be like, why do we want to choose that? Just because it is more comfortable? Just because it is easier? Because that's not a good enough reason. If you truly want to grow, if you truly want to understand and express and draw the life of your dreams towards you to align with your higher self, you have to be willing to let things die. You have to be willing to shift out of comfortability. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It does get easier, I will tell you that. I've gotten very comfortable with being uncomfortable, very in flow with just trusting the universe, trusting in my magic. I never really know what I'm going to do like that far in advance. I just flow. So, activation energy. What are you going to change today? What is your higher self? What is your body? What is your mind been asking you to rebalance, to release, to step into? And how are you going to build good habits around that that are going to help with that initial activation energy? Because I promise, once you've built into that habit a little bit, it gets so much easier. You'll start to fall into a beautiful routine that's expansive, soul for soul care. And when you keep up with it daily, you don't have to do that heavy maintenance. Life becomes easy. Life becomes flowful. If you found this helpful, please share it with someone who you feel needs its message. Leave me a comment down below. I love when you guys comment on my videos. Until next time, be the magic.